Hello, welcome to my channel. Today we are going to do a removal. I've had these short squares on for a couple of weeks now, and they have grown out, and I'm going to remove them. It's been a little bit since I've done a removal on my channel. I've updated the way that I do it, so I'm going to share my new routine with y'all. I had a question a while back about these two e-files I received from MelodySusie. Here are the two e-files. The price difference, one is $85 and one is $50. So I do feel like the price difference is there for a reason. I can see why the one on the right only goes up to 30,000. The one on the left goes up to 35,000. This pink and silver one, it is a little bit heavier. That's what I was showing. The handpiece is a little bit heavier. I do still like this e-file. I also leave in the sound. I put in a bit so that you guys can hear the sound, like how loud it gets. I put it right up to my camera microphone. So go ahead and give it a listen. There is also minimal vibration, as you saw. I really enjoy that one, but this one is my go-to. I actually like this one. The handpiece is a little bit thinner. It's a little bit shorter. It's a little bit smaller overall. It just feels better in my smaller hands. There's a little bit of vibration with the other one, but not much at all. Not very noticeable of a difference. My go-to e-file is the one on the left. I have that one on my desk. I've been using it for a while, but here is the sound with that one. So, I mean, they're about the same as far as like sound, but the pink one does go up 5,000 more RPMs, and it's a little bit quieter, but they're about the same. The weight of the one on the right is a little bit heavier, but all in all, they both work really well. I've used both of them. Here's the information again. Now, I do have a code, ERIKA12. It will be in the description box for you in case you want to shop anything on MelodySusie. But with this pink and silver one needing to be recharged, I am not going to be using that one today. I'm also going to be using this bit. This is a 5-in-1 bit. I'm pretty sure I got it from iGel or Pana. I'm not sure. It's a medium grip. I like that for removal. This Modelones Remove Plus is my favorite thing to use. I don't use acetone anymore to soak off because this just leaves my hands hydrated and removes. I also just got these nail foils that I'm going to try out today, and I use this MelodySusie dust collector, and as you see, I purchased it in November of 2022. I've had it for a while. I love it. I do need to get a new one, so maybe I'll try out their rechargeable one, but these filter, I've also kept the original filter. This is the original filter from when I bought it, but I've been using these filter sheets that protect the filter, and I can just throw them away at the end as to protect my filter. So now I do give it like a knockoff outside or in a vacuum every now and then, but that's the same filter that it came with. But I also only do my own nails, so it's not that big of a deal. I'm going to put my e-file on 13. Now, I do know that some people put their e-file on a little bit higher, but for me, I go at a speed that I am comfortable with. With the shorter nails and not wanting to risk any nail damage, I don't really like to go over 25. I could, I guess, if I practiced more with it, which I do plan on doing, but I hadn't done my nails in a few weeks. I haven't done a full removal like this in a few weeks because y'all, or in a while, probably a few months, because y'all know I like to use peel base underneath my tips if you've been here for a little bit. But I've just had a lot going on with life, and I put these tips on. They were originally medium coffin, but I cut them down to short squares because it was just more functional at the time. And 13 is about where I feel comfortable. This is real time. I left this finger in real time. I think I do one more finger for you guys just to show you like my method. So you don't have to use an e-file for removal. But I just find that it allows me to remove as much product as I'm comfortable with removing so that the acetone or the removal, like I call it an acetone removal, but that Model One's formula is like an oil infused acetone removal, and it works really, really well. But before I do that, I like to remove as much product as I can. I remove the length. Um, some people remove the length at the beginning so that they don't have to file off at the tip area, but there wasn't much length on it, so I just waited till the end when it was a little bit thinner. But yeah, you just want to remove as much as you're comfortable with removing and then just soak off the rest. Now, I do show another way that you can do it. The birds are really out today. They're really loud. It's wild. I don't know if y'all can hear them as loud as they really are, but they're really, really loud today. And the dogs were just barking around the neighborhood. I don't know. Anyway, I'm just showing you guys how I remove them. Now, I am not a professional nail tech. I have learned all of this information that I know by watching a lot of professionals. I watch a lot of different nail professionals, nail techs, and I just practice, trial and error. I have injured myself. I still do sometimes, but this is just how I do it. And I just felt like I would share. I was removing my nails anyway, so I figured I would share. All right, so now I'm going to do the index finger. I'm going to do it just a little bit faster. That first one was in real time. Now I'm just going to remove this one for you as well. Now, if you see, I am bracing my hand on my other finger that I am doing the e-filing on. I like to hold the e-file like a pencil, and I like to brace with my pinky and my ring finger on the nail that I'm going to be working with because it helps for stability. Now, you really don't want the e-file to be jumping around on the nail because you can injure yourself. And when I tell you I've had that happen, it'll slice right through your skin easier than a slice through the nail or any of the product on the nail. So just be very careful. Now, a slower speed will still work. It will just take longer. So it's really just practicing and getting comfortable with it. But you don't have to use an e-file to remove the nails. You don't have to at all. So I go ahead and I remove the other three down as low as I'm comfortable with. And they look all raggedy and jagged and stuff, but I am going to fix that at the end. I wanted to go ahead and get to the other one. Now, for the other hand, there is another way to remove it without using an e-file. You can use the good old-fashioned nail file. Now, I would suggest going a lower grit, probably like an 80, but I don't have any 80 files because I don't do this and I don't ever need to use an 80, so I don't have an 80. I use a 100 grit side of the 100/180 grit file. I have a lot of those because that's the grit that like I go to for everything. I use the 100 side to remove pretty much as much product as I can. It takes a long time. Your arm will probably be sore, but if you're not comfortable using your non-dominant hand to remove your nails, it's still an option. If you don't have an e-file, if you don't want to use an e-file, if you're scared of an e-file, you can do it this way for sure. Now, all you have to really remove is the top coat. Now, here's another method as well. There are a lot of magic gel removers or gel removers, and you can use those to take some layers off of the nail before you use the acetone soak. You can also just go straight in with the acetone soak, but I wanted to show you the magic remover. Now, I have done a removal with this magic gel remover on my channel before, but ever since purchasing the Model Ones remover and figuring out a good way to do peel base underneath my tips, I have not used this as much because I use peel base also on top of my tips so that I can change my color whenever I want. So I really just don't use this magic remover as much, but I wanted to show you that you can use it to remove some of the layers before going in with your acetone soak. That's just for people that don't want to leave their hands in acetone for very long. But while that's kind of doing its thing, I wanted to go ahead and show you how I wrap up my fingers. Now, I was just using cotton balls and regular foil forever, or the little clips that go on your nails with cotton balls. But I had been seeing a couple of people use these with the pre-placed on cotton pad that stays in place with the foil, and it's like the perfect size, and my husband was tired of me using all the foil in the kitchen. So I decided to try out these, and I think they work really well. I wasn't sure if they were going to be big enough, but they are. They work really good. They're really easy to use, really beginner friendly. The cotton pad is plenty big. It has plenty of cotton in there to pour the acetone remover on there and soak off the nails. Now, you do want to give it a good shake because it says shake it before you use it. But if you're using straight acetone still to remove your nails, like, I definitely suggest upgrading to this, because as y'all will see at the end, when I pull them off, my nails are, the skin around my nails is not dry. My nails do not feel like all of the life has been sucked out of them. Like, I love this remover. I did purchase it with my own money. It wasn't sent to me. Some stuff is, but I mean, I try to make sure to let you guys know when stuff is sent to me, even though all opinions and reviews will always be my own. I do like to let you guys know when it was sent to me. But anyway, I did see somebody else using it. I can't remember who I saw using it. I think it was Anna, which is Below Nails on Instagram. I think I saw her using it and I wanted to try it out. So I finally got it and tried it out. I really like it. These foils were very easy to wrap around. I wanted to see if it mattered if I folded it backwards or forwards. I think that folding it forwards just gave it a little bit of a tighter grip, but both ways worked the same. As you see, I just leave this in just so you guys can see what I'm doing. And then I'm just going to let them sit. I let them sit for about 15 minutes before I started the initial scraping on them. And then I put them back on maybe twice, but it removes all of the product, as y'all will see. Now, the thumb is a little bit trickier just because it's like a weird angle. It's just however you want to make the thumb work. It's just really difficult. But you want to tuck one side and then pull the other side around, and then just make sure that it is tight, because you want the heat and you want it to stay on. Because I mean, I usually try to do one hand at a time so that I have one hand free to just do whatever I need to do, whether it's deal with the kids or do something. I'm always getting juice or whatever I'm doing with them because I have little babies still. But it leaves one hand free to do whatever I need to do. And then this is the little scraper tool I like to use. Now, you can use a cuticle pusher, but I found that for me, the cuticle pusher was just a little bit too rough. I like this scraper tool. It is actually for removing product. So I like to make sure to use this one. For me personally, I mean, you can use whatever you would like to use to remove the product and scrape it off, but this is an actual scraper tool that I just feel more comfortable using. It controls the scraping just a little bit better, but as you see, I just removed a layer of the gel. Now I do decide to put one more layer on just so you guys can kind of see it. It does remove it. I usually let this sit for about 5 minutes, and then I scrape some of it off. It's usually about 3 to 5 minutes, and I let it just sit there and do its thing. But something to note about these gel removers. These gel removers can be very toxic to the skin. So you really want to be careful as to not get them on your skin. They're removing the gel by like dissolving it. So when it gets on your skin, it burns, because I have gotten it on my skin. So I will be scraping some of it off, and then I'll like lay my arm on my desk or something, and some of the residue from the scraping off can get on my arm, for like on my other, like not the hand that this remover's on, but the other hand, and it will hurt. So it will burn. You'll probably have some kind of reaction. So just be careful when you're using the magic or gel remover. It does work, but you just got to be really careful as to not get it on your skin because it will probably burn. All right. So I let it sit for another 3 to 5 minutes and I just scrape it off. So now all I'm doing with this is I'm just removing some additional layers so that I don't have to stay in the acetone for so long because I didn't e-file down a lot of the product. I wanted to debulk the product before putting my hands in the acetone. That's just my goal when I'm removing my nails. I like to debulk as much as possible before going in the acetone because I really don't like to sit in the acetone like so long, just because personal preference. I also don't like to use the bowl to soak in. Ever since I do this method, I prefer to use this method versus the bowl method. I mean, the bowl method literally makes you have to stay there in one spot. And for some people, I understand that you can do that. I don't have. Usually, when I'm removing my nails, I have to do something else. So I have to multitask or take a lot of breaks or something like that. So, oh, sorry. So yeah, I just like to do this method. This is just personal preference, but I hope this detailed method kind of explanation kind of shows you guys maybe a different way to do it or an easier way. But also, as you see, I knocked that bottle over. Make sure to try to always put the tops on things when you're working on your desk because that's how half of the bottle was gone. I knocked it over like when I was putting my foils on. I left it open because I was going to work on the next finger, and I smacked the bottle over and knocked half of it out. So that was fun. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and put the acetone on now, or the remover on now. I call it acetone because it is an acetone mixture. But I'm going to go ahead and put it on. I'm going to leave it on for a little bit. I'm going to let it do its thing, take off the rest of the product, and yeah. So I'm going to let it sit for the rest of the time on my other hand. Because, I mean, you can still move around. Now, I'm going to do those other nails, but I'm not going to do them the same way. I think I go ahead and I actually check on my other hand. I think I give it a little check because I think it had been about 12 minutes or so. So I think I wanted to see kind of where we were at on that hand. But I do, is this where I show you the e-file? Yeah. I do suggest getting an e-file, whether an inexpensive one or whatever, a practice e-file to debulk your nails before removing them. I definitely 100% suggest getting an e-file to practice. You don't have to, but I definitely suggest it. Get you a good e-file and some good removal bits, and you will find that learning is not that bad. It's not that hard, and you will save so much time. Now, I know back a couple of years ago, I started when I was pregnant with my youngest, doing my nails. So I've only been doing my nails about 4 years now. And back when I first started, the thought of an e-file scared me. Like, I was like, absolutely not. I will never ever use an e-file. But over the years, I have grown to love my e-file. I could not imagine not having it. So start slow. Get some good bits to start. Get a good e-file and good bits to start because a good e-file will change like everything. I started off with a $20 e-file that didn't even have speeds. It just had a little dial. I started off with that from Amazon and just the bits that it came with. But let me tell you, when I upgraded, I felt so much better. It was so much easier to use. When I upgraded my bits, I was just shocked. So that is definitely a suggestion. I am saving up now for the Erica's ATA bits because I've been seeing them everywhere and I definitely want to get them. And eventually I do plan on getting licensed, but I have a 3-year-old and I have a 5-year-old, and y'all know with homeschooling, I just have a lot on my plate right now. So I'm not currently licensed, but I do plan on going to school for the full cosmetology. I love to do hair. I do my own hair a lot. I do nails. I do friends and family's nails. I do my sister-in-law's hair. I'll do different people's hair, different people's nails, but I'm not licensed yet, but I do plan on going to get licensed. So I have been practicing doing my hair for how old? Over 15 years now, probably closer to 20 years. I've been doing my own hair, my own nails longer than that. So yeah, enough rambling. You guys can kind of see what I'm doing. Back up a little bit. All that to say, practice makes perfect. I suggest an e-file. You definitely don't need one, but it just makes life a lot easier. Practice, 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 and quality does matter. All right, on to what I'm doing now. I am just using my scraper very gently. Now you want to be very, very careful when you're doing this part because you don't want to damage your nails. As y'all will see at the end, my nails are in fine condition. I have no problems with them. All the damage that I did have on them grew out. Now they do look darker on the video, so I do show pictures of what they actually look like because my video lighting, I'm working on getting a better lighting setup, playing with different angles and stuff, and I'm planning on getting a recording camera because sometimes the light just doesn't show right. I don't know, it just doesn't show the way that it looks on camera, so it looks like I had somebody comment before on why my nails look bruised. They're not bruised, they just like my nails are a little bit pink because my skin is sensitive with like when I'm removing my nails or when I'm doing my nails or prepping or anything, my nail beds do get a little pink because my skin is sensitive. If I used a little pusher and I scraped it just a little bit on my hand or on my palm or anywhere on my arm a little bit, my skin is very sensitive. My husband always jokes that you could like touch me and I'll bruise. So I never try to injure my nails. My nails are not injured when I'm doing them on camera. They just look a little darker because of my lighting. That's really it. And I show you pictures of what they actually look like in at the end. So yeah, don't worry, y'all. I make sure to take care of them. I take care of my daughter's nails as well. I don't show them on camera just because I don't like really putting my kids on the camera like that. So yeah, I do my daughter's nails. Her nails are fine. I do my youngest daughter's nails. Her nails are just, she's got 3-year-old nails, so her nails are fine. She's biting them and stuff, so we just do polish for them. But the nails look fine. This is how it looks. And you see I have that little piece on the corner. Now, I could try to file that off, but when you have the urge to file that off, you risk damaging that nail. So best bet is to just put the thing back on and let it sit. So I put it back on. I let them sit for about another 5 or 10 minutes, and then everything's ready to come off. The last little bits and pieces are ready to come off, and everything comes off really easily. You don't want to force anything off. You don't want to scrape very hard. You just want to push very gently. Now, for me, I don't like to leave any kind of edge on my nails. I don't like to leave any free edge on my natural nails. I like to make them nubs. I like to leave them nubs because I don't like the stress, I guess, of growing them out. It's just, to me, a lot of stress, like when I break one, and now just keeping them short, I put extensions on and I'm happy with that. Or when I want to take my nails off, when I have a lot going on, I usually like to do that and I just have nubs, and that just lets me just deal with whatever I'm dealing with. Because for me, when I get to a stressful point of life or a stressful time where I'm going through a lot, I just like to have really short nails. It's just a personal thing, so I don't like the idea of when I have long nails and then they're my natural nails and then cutting them off. Yeah, they grow back, but not as fast as my hair. My hair, I haven't cut my hair, given it a nice chop, say about 3.5 years, and my hair is like already all the way down my back. So it grows so fast. My nails don't grow that way. They also grow very weirdly. Like my index finger grows downwards. My pinky has like a ski slope going on with it. So I just choose to do extensions. I mean, I could tame them with builder gel, yes, but I'm just not going to waste the time on it. I just keep them short and put extensions on. So with this, I'm just scraping off the residual very softly. Once it's all off, I will cut down my natural nails. But like you see, I'm putting the little foil back on. Whenever there is a little bit left, a little bit of product left, I just slide the foil back on, give it a little bit more time, and then just let it do its thing. So now everything is off the index finger. The nail itself looks a little bit wonky as far as like the shape goes, but I show you me clipping them all down. I have a glass file that I use for them, but yeah. Here I'm just showing you that I took that off, scraped a little bit, and now I'm going to cut that. These are some old cuticle nippers that I used to use, but they're not very sharp, so I just used them to cut like rhinestones off. I cut the free edge off of this nail tip because I don't need it to be there anymore. And now I'm just going to try to scrape off some of that. I look very awkward using my left hand because it is my non-dominant hand. But like I was saying, you just want to make sure to remove as much product as you can because it makes the removal process just a little bit easier. For me, I don't like to not use my e-file. I go very slow with my other hand, but I still use it for both hands. All right, so we have removed everything. All the product is removed. So you see how my nails look a little bit more pink. They have a little bit of product left. They have a little bit of grow out because I had them on for a while. Excuse my hair being in the thing. I forgot to put my hair up. And then once I got into it, I couldn't put my hair up because it's so long that it takes a lot. And I just left it down once I started. I realized it was down and I just said, just leave it. But I'm just wiping them off with a little bit of isopropyl alcohol. And now I'm going to cut the free edge off. Like I had said, I don't like to leave my free edge. I'm also going to use my mini mandrel bit, which I love using for just like a little bit of like cleanup. You don't ever want to use the bit that I used for removal on your natural nails. That is a big no-no. I did learn that. Certain bits you use on the natural nail and certain bits you do not. I did not want to use that one on my natural nails, so I just switched to my mini mandrel and I use my 240 grit. I do need to get some more of those. I love these mini mandrels. 240 is like my go-to bit for my natural nail. I use 180 if I am doing it on extensions, but 240 is what I use for my natural nails. It just is safe for me, I guess. I guess I could use the 180, but I just choose to use the 240. It's just a lot safer. All right, so back to my dust collector. I love this dust collector. It works. It's great. I've had it for a few years now, and it works. It's not rechargeable. I'm like in that era where I feel like everything should be rechargeable, but here we are. The e-file, I put it at 4,000 RPMs, and I just kind of go around the edges. I think I speed this up just a little bit after the thumb, but I am just scraping off any of the excess product that's left on there, going around the cuticle area very carefully, and I am just roughing the shine off the nail because when I get done with this, I'm going to apply the fruit nails that y'all saw me make in my last video, and I posted a short about them. I wanted to put those on. I do like my nails to be a little roughed up, and I'm going to use the Curve Life glue to attach them. But I don't show that in the video, but I might put a little clip in at the end of showing them on. Excuse me. But I do... Oh, there's a wasp around me. Oh, sitting outside doing this. And there was a wasp. But yeah, I left this in real time, I guess. And yeah, it is, it's back. Oh my goodness gracious, go away, wasp. My husband just cut the grass, so all of the creepy crawly flying things are out. But anyway, yeah, I'm just removing a little bit of the growth, a little bit of the excess product. I'm removing the shine from my nails. I am just kind of prepping them for the press-on set that I'm going to put on. Now, you can use a different bit if you want. You can leave your natural nails to grow out, but I like to just do this very slowly, very carefully. I don't do a lot of digging. You want to make sure that if you are using the e-file, you are using it at a parallel angle to the nail. You don't want to be digging into the nail. That's how you get your rings of fire. That's how you remove lots of layers of the nail. And you just want to be very gentle, very careful. Just as careful as you can be, because you really don't want to do a lot of damage, because if you're doing damage back at the cuticle area, it takes a while for that damage to grow out. So just be mindful of how fast you're going with the e-file and the pressure that you're using and all of that. These were the only nail clippers that I found. I guess my kids took my other ones and replaced them with this one. So we're going to use these nail clippers, and I just clip off the free edge. Like I said, I don't really like to leave, I leave like this smallest little sliver of white, but I like to keep my natural nails very, very short, especially if I'm going to put on press-ons. The press-ons that I'm going to put on are like a little translucent, so I really don't want any free edge showing underneath of them. But I mean, also, I really don't like my nails showing underneath my press-ons or my nail extensions, just regardless. In case I do like a sheer look, I really don't like my natural nails to show underneath. Also, I don't like the way that my natural nails grow out underneath extensions. Like I said, they're like weird, they grow in weird ways and all that. So I just keep them short. So I just clipped them and now I'm going to file them. I have a glass file for when I have my natural nails. Both of my daughters have their own that I use on them. But this one is what I like to use. I think it's a Bonafide Beauty one. I don't remember, but it's a glass file nonetheless, and it's good for the natural nails. It's really gentle on them. I get a decent shape without having to ruin them and shred them or whatever with a wooden file. I just like to use this glass one. But yeah, that's pretty much all I do for the removal. Now, at the end of all of this, what I will do is I will wash my hands really well with, I usually use the Dawn dish soap that I wash my dishes with to wash my hands after doing this. But actually, I mean, I do the other hand before I do that. But I wanted to just do one hand fully all the way through to show y'all my process of removal. I will go wash my hands. I have a little scrub brush, like the blue one that I was using with the handle, that I like to scrub just very gently. I scrub some of the soap in just so that everything is all nice. I also have a hand scrub, hand sugar scrub that I like to use after I've done a removal. It is called 1 Minute Manicure, the one I currently use from Nail Aid. I like to use that after I'm done, just so everything is nice. Scrub just a little bit. This is just isopropyl alcohol, just to have them all clean so I can do my other hand. Also, I like to buff in cuticle oil, so I will wash my hands, use the sugar scrub or hand scrub on my hands, and then I will buff in some cuticle oil, and then I will put an additional layer of cuticle oil on. So I've removed both hands. I have put the cuticle oil on. I wanted to change the lighting to see if that helped, but it didn't really help because my nails still look like really red, really pink, like sore or whatever. But I removed the nails from both hands. I removed all of the everything. Like there's no product on my nails at all. They look fine. Everything is cut down. Everything's filed. Everything looks nice. So they are fully ready. I usually let my nails sit for about a day or so after a full removal like that. This is what they look like. I really hope you found this video to be informational, informative. Here is the set that I put on. I wanted to show you guys what they looked like. I did this a couple of days later, but I really wanted to show you all the end result of it. They are super pretty. I love them. If you haven't seen my previous video, go check it out for how I made 5 of them. Also, here is the glow in the dark. I love, love, love that they glow in the dark, and I still have them on as of this video going up. But thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will catch you all on the next one.